Hi, my name's Erin Josephitis. I'm the Volunteer Environmental Coordinator for the City of Greenbelt Department of Public Works. I'm here to tell you about how we coexist with beavers right here at Greenbelt Lake in Buddy Attic Park. So to give you a little history about beavers, nearly 100 years ago they were almost extinct. They faced extinction because humans had overhunted them and we'd also destroyed a lot of their native habitat. Thankfully, Greenbelt happens to be a great area for beavers, and their populations have been able to increase over the past 100 years after we put in regulations to help protect their habitat as well as to help protect them from overhunting. We have a family of beavers that lives right here at Greenbelt Lake, and they're really active. That's where the term busy beavers actually comes from. They're actually second to humans in altering their environment. They're wetlands engineers, and they completely construct new habitats by building dams, and they live actually in lodges like the one behind me. So in order to build a dam or a lodge, that requires that they chop down trees. So in order to do that, they use their teeth. They have really long teeth that constantly grow, so they need to always be chewing wood. And their bodies have developed to do that. So we have several trees around here, but unfortunately the beavers have been chopping them down faster than trees regrow. It obviously takes several years, almost 100 years, for some trees like oaks to be able to grow really wide and tall and provide lots of other beneficial ecosystem services, such as providing habitat for birds. So trees are really important in addition to beavers, and we need to be able to balance how many trees the beavers take down and how many trees we save. We don't want to cage all of our trees. We want to leave some of the trees for the beavers because they have so many great ecosystem services. Like I mentioned, the lodges that they build are really good for other animals. You can see there's probably over a dozen turtles just basking right on that lodge right back there. And without that lodge, they wouldn't have as nice of an area to be able to bask in the sun. That's how turtles stay warm. So it's really important that we have our beavers for the beneficial infrastructure that they build for us. So what do we do to protect our trees? Well, that's where volunteers come into place. Volunteers have been coming out over the past several years and caging specifically our slow growth native tree species. Right here you can see we try to leave at least 6 inches of space in between the tree and the caging so that it allows room for the trees to grow over time. Now eventually, we've been doing this for so long that some of the trees have already grown to the point where the fencing is really tight. So volunteers will actually come back again and re-cage the fencing as trees grow. In order to monitor this, we use GIS, or Geographic Information Systems. We actually have a GIS intern who's also helping us out and mapping the tight cages to help improve our efficiency and speed up time in identifying the locations of trees that are growing too fast. Anybody can do it. It's open for families. We've had kids come out. And it's a really great opportunity to be able to learn about tree growth and how beavers interact with our ecosystem and the greater habitat here at Buddy Attic Park. Behind me is an area where the beavers have been very active recently. And although this may seem bad, it's actually somewhat beneficial because by allowing more sunlight to penetrate through to the bottom of the forest floor, it allows for new trees to regrow. We also use GIS to monitor and identify areas where the beavers are very active so that we can plan ahead for volunteer events and tree plantings. Further, we use GIS to even identify the most appropriate tree species to replant in place of the trees that have been taken down by the beavers. So behind me you can see the beaver dam. It's made out of really big boulders, rocks, stones, several logs, and sticks and twigs. So they've crafted this really awesome dam behind me. Beavers are what we call a keystone species because by changing their environment, they create other habitat for more animals, such as those behind me. You can see ducks and turtles basking in the sun just to the left of the slide where the beaver enters and exits the water. So it's a pretty awesome success story in terms of population a species that had a population that was so low 100 years ago, and now they've come back so much and so mighty that we're actually trying to coexist with them so that they don't have the same history to them, and we want to be able to make sure they have adequate habitat space like this awesome park here at Buddiatic Park. Frankly, the beavers don't want to leave this park because it's such an awesome habitat, and there's no other lakes nearby that are just as pristine and as great as Greenbelt Lake, so that's why they're staying here. In nature, normally they would go out and go on to a new lake when they have their kits, but since there's so much development around us, we want to be able to keep our beaver family here happy, alive, and healthy, while making sure that they have enough trees, enough resources to be able to sustain their population for several generations to come.